people do not assume to know what will make them truly happy. We can't just assume that we know what is going to make us happy. We can't just assume that getting that job or signing that client or dating that person or getting married or moving to that place or looking that way is going to be it. At one point, Christmas made a lot of us more happy than it does now. At one point, a birthday party made us feel a lot more happy than it does now. If money made you happy when you were broke, the same amount of money is not going to make you happy when you're rich. Emotionally intelligent people do not assume being fearful is a sign that they are on the wrong path. A sign that you're on the wrong path is indifference. If you are fearful about something, that is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. You're being pushed towards something. That's intention. Who knows if it always will be the right thing? What we do know is that you're on the right path. It might not lead to exactly where you want, but you're going into a direction you know you need to go into. They know that happiness is a choice, but do not feel they need to make that choice all the time. Happiness is not a sustained state of joy. Being happy is moment by moment. If you were only experiencing one emotion all the time, then that's not living. You're not living. You're just in existence. Living the human experience means that you experience all the emotions. And you should allow yourself to say, I'm not in a happy state right now. Emotionally intelligent people know that a feeling will not kill them. You're not going to die because you're angry. You're only going to die if you start doing stupid things because you're angry. Emotionally intelligent people do not confuse a bad feeling for a bad life. When you fight the bad feeling, when you fight the bad day, that is anything but peaceful. If you just come to grips with this is just not a good day for me. It's not my day. I got bad news. I lost a client. Somebody hit the back of my car on the way to the gym, and I just want to go home, go to sleep, and start this one over tomorrow. That's part of life. If I'm fighting against that bad day, if I'm fighting against that bad feeling, I'm causing war within myself. You're able to have peace when you just accept it. This is a bad stretch of life, or this is a bad day, or this is a bad week. These are bad feelings. But this doesn't make it a bad life.
We laugh.
Live and alive. Live and alive. Olia, come in. Olia, come in this morning. What's up, C?
I'm here on this fine Monday, Jay. What's up with you?
Fantastic, my man. Fantastic. Good morning, Win Column team. Oh, Win Column team has moderators now, huh? Great job, guys. Good morning, Maria. How you doing? Codex, shout out to you. Good morning, Aretha. What's going on? I had a great weekend. How about yours?
Yeah, it was it was interesting going into the weekend, but it was a great weekend. Um yeah, I have a question though, Jay. How old were you when you realized that delusion actually existed? That people are can be full on delusional?
I was quite young.
Why? How young? And why? And when did you actually like
How
realize?
young? I under less than 5 years old, but the way was because I come from a family full of delusion. So that's the way, when you come from family like mine, you learn at a very young age that something in real life can happen, and somebody at the same time live right there could tell you it didn't happen with a
Yeah.
straight face.
So the reason I asked is that I don't know how many of you guys who are just filing in or on the live right now saw that live that Jay and Queen Amadai Shakur did on Friday,
Good morning,
but they
Lisa.
but they did a live on Too Strong, the channel Too Strong. They I think, yeah, they had a live with Queen Amadea Shakur, and then the following day, that was on Thursday, and then on the Friday, Jay joined uh Too Strong on their live. He tuned in on their call, and they had quite a conversation. Wouldn't you say, Jay?
I would say they had they found out the hard way what it's like to have a conversation with Jay. Like how I did that.
Yeah, that's really cool. So guys, if you haven't seen that video, it's pretty entertaining. It's basically Jay and Queen just go reacting to the conversations that Jay had and stuff, and it's pretty entertaining. A few people, got embarrassed, felt embarrassed, and stuff like that. And the delusion was a theme of it all.
Yeah. Guys, we're gonna actually take that video down. So if you want to watch it, watch it today. After today, we're gonna take it down. I just don't like videos like that up on our channel. It's like a little bit too drama type video for what our brand represents. But I did want to just jump on live and share with you guys that there are real life like things that happen that are, it's like you wouldn't believe it unless you saw it type thing. And like this is one part of the conversation, the man said, he said something once, then he said it later on again. And then I said, yeah, so now this is the second time that you've said that. And the second time you said it, you said that's what you believe. And then he goes, I don't remember saying that, but whatever, I believe it anyways. I don't know. Anyways, he said it like maybe 2 minutes earlier. So that stuff does exist. Shout out to everybody.
If you're just stopping in, remember to like and subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, if you haven't liked the videos yet, please remember to hit that like button and share this with somebody that feel like needs to hear some of the stuff that we'll be talking about today. Yep. Yeah.
So today I was going through the book Quiet Mind, Epic Life. Quiet Mind, Epic Life. So that book, I think we talked about it last week as well. That's by actually the brother of one of my mentors. So Tom Ferry is one of my mentors. He's actually the whole reason why I got into like business coaching in the first place. I was coaching with him before anything. He's the one that trained me. But his brother, Matthew Ferry, is also a great coach in his own right. And he also wrote this book, Quiet Mind, Epic Life. And we've been kind of sifting through this book. I think this was chapter 12 or 13. I don't remember what the chapter is called. But this book, you can literally pick up this book and go through any chapter at random and you'll learn something. I named today's thought Trusted Advisor Role because in our communities, we're all at some time or another put into a trusted advisor role, right? At a certain age or a certain level of responsibility, people start looking to you for advice, looking to you for help, looking for you for direction. And it's important that we understand that role is very, very important. And we have to take it seriously because otherwise we just keep passing down the same exact thing to the next person. I'm going to explain what I mean by the same exact thing. But essentially we're all what he describes in the book as packed animals. This is what he said, packed animals. Like, so, like the leader of the pack, like a pack of wolves. So he says we're all packed like animals. I didn't like that. So I just put, we are all tribal, which is exactly what we are. Human beings are tribal. That's the entire reason why we're able to survive all this time, right? If you notice in ancient texts, when they wanted to unalive you, when the tribe wanted to unalive you, they would actually banish you from the tribe. And the whole idea of banishing somebody from the tribe was the fact that you cannot survive on your own. So essentially, they were unaliving you by banishing you from the tribe. And this has been ingrained into our DNA. That is why when you get rejected or you get, even in school, you get made fun of or you get kicked out of the group or somebody breaks up with you or something, you actually feel this physical pain. There's like a physical feeling that your body is going through. It's thinking that you got banished from the tribe, right? This is why this tribe stuff is so important. And this is why, interestingly enough, I hate to beat a dead horse, but when you go on that person's chat that I was speaking to, all of their delusion also exists in their chat. So like I was actually I was looking at the video the other day, but I wasn't reading the chat when I was discussing what I was discussing with him. So the other day when I reviewed the video, I was actually reading the chat and I was like, wow, they are exactly just like him. They're all nuts. So So my point is that we are tribal, right? And so we mirror the behavior of, usually in the beginning, it's our family, right? That's our tribe to start, right? Is our family. We mirror their behavior. And so we have this unconscious desire to fit in. It's actually an unconscious reflex. So it's not even just a desire, it's a reflex. So as soon as you feel or are made to feel that what you're doing is not the accepted thought process or behavior or whatever in that tribe, which early on is our family, you switch it real quick because you don't want to look stupid. You don't want to be made fun of or be scolded or anything like that, right? And so in the beginning, whether you're a cousin or a older sibling or a uncle or auntie or whatever, mother, father, whatever, it's really important that we know that that person has the reflex to fit in, and we're the one that is setting the trend because we're the one that's older, right? Or we're the one that has more responsibility. So we have to make sure that we're setting really good trends. The idea here, though, is that in this book, he's trying to allow people to break free from this unconscious reflex, right? He goes, very few people are able to say what they think, dress how they want, and live how they want without upsetting the people in their life. Let me repeat that one more time because it's facts. It says very few people are able to say what they think, dress how they want, and live how they want without upsetting the people in their life. Now, you guys know me, my thought process and my point of views are pretty conservative. So when I say dress how you want and do what you want and think how you want, I'm not saying if you want to go and do drugs, just go and do drugs and throw your life away. I'm not talking about that. But what I am talking about is something that's not so extreme or destructive behavior. I'm speaking about things that it's not really that big of a deal. We're going to get into an exercise at the end of this. The exercise, spoiler alert, is called What's the Worst That Can Happen, right? So that's kind of like the test, right? What's the worst that can happen? Okay, if you're going to die, then obviously that's not what I'm talking about. All right. So he goes, the chances of you becoming exactly who you want to be and simultaneously pleasing all of the people around you are damn near zero. I'm going to say that one more time. The chances of you becoming or arriving at the person that you want to be and simultaneously pleasing all the people around you are basically zero. So you're going to have to come to grips at some point in your life that you will be disappointing people around you, or at least upsetting them in some way. Okay, you have to come to grips with that at an early age too. Because like I told you guys before, great being a school teacher, that wasn't my path, although that's the path my mother wanted for me, to be a school teacher, because that's what she knew. And she knew job security, and she knew, summers off. And that was her path. We celebrate the people who break away from the pack. So notice that. The Oprahs of the world, those type of people who break the mold. We celebrate them, right? Why do we celebrate them? Because they demonstrate one word: courage. It takes courage. It takes hupsa, I think that's what they call it, hupsa. It takes courage to break the mold. I don't know if she'll mind me telling you this story, but you know what? Here we go. Somebody actually really close to me, she one time had I think she had a dog, then she got another dog. And in my family, dogs didn't stay in the house. Dogs were outside. But in her family, when she was creating her family and raising her family, she had dogs in the house. So then she had a dog, and she got another dog. And I made a comment to her. I was like, "Oh, you're running a pet store? You're running a zoo or something like that? Like, you got all these pets and animals in your house?" Because it was weird to me, because that's not how we grew up. We grew up first of all, we grew up in the city. And even growing up in the city, the dog still stayed outside. So To me, it was weird. And then obviously fast forward later, I got a dog in the house. But my point is that at the time, that's how I was thinking, right? She was part of my tribe. We grew up together. And she got so upset. She said, I didn't expect that from you. I said, expect what? Why are you being so sensitive? And she goes, no, like you sound like my dad said the same thing, or you're running a pesto. Like for him, I expect it. He's old school, blah, blah, blah. But I don't expect it from you. Like, I don't need to be, basically she was saying, I don't need to be made to feel bad because I'm doing something a little different than the rest of the people I'm around, my tribe. And I was like, okay, sorry, you're being sensitive. But it wasn't about the dog. It wasn't about the other dog that she got or the next dog or anything like that. It was about the fact that she was exercising exactly what he's talking about in this book. She was exercising her ability to do and think and act as she feels that she wants the direction of her life and her family, because at that time she had children already, younger. They were pretty young at that time. Now they're old. She wanted to be feeling okay without having people make her feel bad for just doing something a little bit different. And again, we're not talking about destructive behavior. We're talking about something that's just different and allows her to be who she is and forge her own path for her and her own family. I didn't understand that at the time. I just thought it was weird. And then I also was very insensitive when I said, okay, why are you being so sensitive about it? I've done a lot of growing. And I understand now exactly what she was trying to get at, right? Because as he writes in his book, when you break the protocol, they get uncomfortable. The other people in your tribe get uncomfortable when you break the protocol, right? They're the ones that get uncomfortable. It's disruptive to the status quo, right? They want you following what they're following because it helps their drunk monkey. Last week, remember we talked about drunk monkey, that crazy monkey in the back of your mind that keeps telling you not to do things that are good for you and tells you to be afraid and tells you don't rock the boat and tells you you're not going to be able to do it and tells you, hey, you should really rein it back a little bit, be safe, don't take risks, all of that. Yeah. It disrupts their drunk monkey. Okay. It helps their drunk monkey keep you in a neat and tidy box when you follow what they're following. And it disrupts their drunk monkeys. Their drunk monkeys go crazy inside when you do something different. I'm sitting here today and I really want to encourage you guys, please don't let these unconscious reflexes govern your life. You know how you can express yourself in healthy ways, and you know it's unhealthy. You don't need other people to tell you. And I'm speaking from a place of, like, I've grown a lot in this way because I was way different not so long ago, maybe like 8 years ago. I was much different. So I'm living proof. He writes in his book that it's how we identify who is part of the tribe and who is not. Someone not part of the pack might be a threat. Now, what he's saying is, way back in the day, right? If you didn't speak the language or you didn't say the same things or look like the tribe or sound like the tribe, it means you weren't from that tribe, right? When I say way back in the day, I'm talking about thousands of years ago. It actually meant you weren't part of the tribe. If you're not part of the tribe, you may be a threat. You may be part of the enemy tribe, right? You don't speak the same language or look the same or dress the same or act the same or talk the same or walk the same, right? It means you are not one of us. And if you're not one of us, you may be a threat. And so he's explaining in this book, this is how far back it goes, that it's wired, that it's wired in our DNA. He goes, though, and this is a great quote, once a person hears an enlightenment, nothing else will do. I think that's a quote from Buddha. Once one hears an enlightenment, nothing else will do. What does he mean by that? What he means is, if you step outside of that tribe just for a second, let's say you get 5 dogs, okay? And your tribe, they don't have dogs in the house. You got 5 dogs in your house. You step outside of it. Once you realize you actually like having dogs in the house and you enjoy having 5 dogs, you like when you come home, you like your 5 dogs there, and you like going and walking your dogs and all that kind of stuff. And your kids like the dogs and like playing with the dogs. And now your kids are being taught responsibility because they're taking care of the dogs and going to take the dogs for a walk and make sure the dogs are fed. And you realize all the benefits of having these 5 dogs in the house. You can't go back now. You've seen the light already, right? You've seen the light already. You've already been enlightened. Oftentimes, our tribes, they're trying to keep us in the dark. But here's the thing. They're not doing it to do something wrong or because they're malicious or anything like that. What he writes here is that what he writes here is that these people were not concerned. When he said these people, the people who basically were our tribe growing up, they were not concerned about teaching us about inner peace and fulfillment. Our family group did the right thing. They taught us how to live in the world. They were concerned about teaching you how to live, how to make money, how to put food on the table, how to find a spouse, how to have babies, how to keep the species alive, how to be safe. So all of these things that were taught early on, they're kind of like survival mechanisms that are taught to us, right? The last thing that, at least I'll just use mine for example. I grew up with my grandmother. Was born into my grandmother's house. The last thing my grandmother was thinking is, I really want Jay to have peace and fulfillment. And God bless her. I love my grandmother. She's my favorite person to ever walk this earth. I guarantee you, she was not looking at me when I was a kid and saying, when I was 2 years old and 3 years old, saying, I really want him to have peace and fulfillment growing up. She was saying, I want him to be strong. I want him to be a good man. I want him to be a follower of God. I want him to be self-sufficient. I want him to grow up and find a nice wife and get married and have wonderful children. That's what she was concerned about. That's what she was teaching me. When she was teaching me to cook, when she was teaching me to interact with other people. That's what her concerns were, to make sure that I grew up to be a benefit to society. The last thing that was on her mind was peace and joy and fulfillment in whoever it was that I became. Because that, to be honest with you, if you're dead, who cares about peace, joy, and fulfillment? You gotta live, you gotta survive, right? And if you're on the street, you can't make any money. Trust me, you're not gonna be that at peace, and you're not gonna have that much joy or fulfillment if you're homeless. So she was concerned about those things when she was raising me. So he says in this book, let's not try to villainize these people. We're not villainizing them. They're actually doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing the right thing. All right. I'm jumping around here, but I want to get back into when we start doing different things. He writes, you have always been different from the group anyway, so own it. I thought that was worthy of writing down this morning. Think about it. We're all different. We're all unique. Every single one of us is actually different than the tribe that we're actually in. It's just that we oftentimes don't step out of those bounds. We don't step out of those bounds because of that reflex, that unconscious reflex. But we actually are all very different from each other. So what he's saying is you've never been the same as everybody else. You've just been playing in the same box as everybody else. But really, within yourself, you're different. So he said, just own it. Just say, yeah, I'm different. So I'm going to be different. I think differently. I like different things. I have different thoughts and opinions. And I have different ways of expressing those thoughts and opinions. All right. I might have different values. So he's saying, just own it. You're already different. And he goes, bringing new perspective to your tribe, to your group, to your culture, to your family, and your circle is actually a gift to them. I really thought that was worth writing down as well. You're only benefiting them by bringing them more perspective. Not to toot my own horn, but my mother tells me that probably the best compliment she gives me usually is, nobody's taught her more in life than I have. She had me when she was a teenager, 17. So she did grow, like grow up with me. We grew up together, basically. But she says that all the time. Why? Because I was able to bring new thoughts and new perspectives and new ways of thinking. And hey, have you thought about maybe doing this differently? Right? Now she likes it. When I was 12, she thought I was a smartass, and I used to get licks for it. But now she enjoys it. Right? Now she'll call me and ask me what my opinion is on something and what she thinks I should do. Because bringing those perspectives helps the people around us. So think about it like that. Think about it like that. Then you also have peace within yourself, because you're not wrestling with yourself, because you're not denying what you believe or what you think or how you want to express yourself or your thoughts or your opinions or anything like that, or what you enjoy or what you don't enjoy. You're not denying it. So you have peace within yourself. And if you have peace within yourself, you're an asset to those people around you, right? Because peace is contagious. Just like joy is contagious. He writes, accepting your unbridled compassion and your willingness to accept everyone for everything that they represent will be very disruptive to the people that you know. They may become jealous. They may become agitated. They may become judgmental. They may become prideful. They may start playing a victim. They may exclude you from the group. So he's saying prepare that some of that might happen. But after that, he says, but who cares? Why would you want those people around you anyway? Why would you want those people around you anyway? That's like dropping dead weight. And at the end of the day, you become a person with more peace within, and you also become a person with more joy, right? And joy is expressed outwardly, where peace is expressed within yourself. Joy is expressed outwardly, right? Peace is felt within yourself, right? But what I wrote down is, and I almost wrote J, I wrote joy is attractive, J-O-Y, not J-A-Y. I wrote joy is attractive, but it is. When somebody just has joy and happiness and positive energy and vibes, you just want to vibe with that person. You want to be around that person. You enjoy time with that person. Joy is attractive. Misery is not attractive. Joy looks good on everybody. Misery will make you look 10 years older. Right? Joy is attractive. So if you are wrestling with yourself within, you don't have peace within, and then you don't have joy, like, you can't expect people to say, yeah, I really want to be around Jay. He's just great. I'm going to go through 3 more things, because I did write a lot down this morning, like a lot. I'm going to go through 3 more things, and then I'm going to go through that exercise real quick. One more thing he said is that illogical rules are ingrained within all of us. They're the rules that start with I have to, I need to, I should, I shouldn't. They're all illogical rules. Now, why are they illogical rules? Now I'm going to add in a second thing that is my own thing, which is values. Okay, these illogical rules, I call them values, right? You have to have values. We all actually have values. Sometimes we just don't know about them. But the values, or these rules that we have, the I should, I shouldn't, whatever, they should be intentionally curated by you. They shouldn't just be something that's passed on to you. They should be something that you actually say, you know what, I've tested this. This is why I believe in this value, or I believe I should be like this, or I should not be like this, or I have to do this, or I need to do this, or I do not do this, or I do this. It should all be tested by you, and it should all come from you. Somebody has presented you a set of values to live your life by. Have you tested them? Have you chosen which ones make sense and which ones don't make sense? Have you adopted values outside of what was handed down to you, that you inherited from the tribe? That's the question. Because there's no such thing as bad values. You can't tell somebody that they have bad values. There's no such thing. It's their value system. There's no such thing. We do not judge somebody else's value system. But what we do is say, is that really your value system, or is that a value system that was just inherited by you from your tribe? Right? So in this book, he calls it illogical rules. I call it a value system. And a value system is very important because your value system is connected to your identity. Right? So if you value, let's say you value money, right? Let's say you value money. You're going to reflect, like you're going to look in your reflection, you're going to reflect on your life, and part of your judgment is going to be how much money you made or how much money you have, which then becomes your identity. In other words, I'm a rich person, or I'm doing well, or I'm a successful person based on the fact that I value money. So when I reflect on my life or look at my reflection, I see the value system all over, and therefore that's my identity. But if I don't value it, then I won't see it. It won't matter when I reflect, or I look at my reflection, or I reflect on my life, and therefore that does not have anything to do with my identity. So it's a three-prong plug. We've taught this many times on the other channel, actually, on the Win Column channel. I am on the Win Column channel right now. I forgot we're streaming on both right now. But this is a very important thing. It's a three-prong plug. You guys never heard this anywhere on the internet, I guarantee, because I made it up. But now it's up. Now it's out there. Go ahead, ChatGPT. Go to give my idea to everybody else. I'm joking. All right. Now that we understand that, now we have to do this exercise called the worst case scenario. That's how we test the value system, right? So if there's a value that you inherit and you feel like that doesn't serve you, that value doesn't serve you in your life the way it is supposed to, you have to test it. So you write it down, and you write down all of the bad, worst things that can happen if you change this value, or abandon this value, or you adopt a new value. You write down all the worst case scenarios. And if they're not that bad, and the best case scenarios way outweigh the worst case scenario, then choose the value. I'll give you an example. If I value, let's just use money again. If I value money and I say to myself, I need to make as much money as possible because, I don't know, let's say money nothing happens in this world without money. Let's just say that. Sorry, guys, I don't value money like that. So I'm just making this up. But let's just say I would say nothing happens in this world without money. So I need to make as much money as possible. Well, I would have to say, okay, what's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen is I could have no friends or family that can't give me something, because if I'm only valuing money, then all of my relationships are transactional. So how are you going to make me money? Okay, yeah, we could be friends, but how are we going to make money together? Otherwise, this friendship is useless, right? If I really value money that much. So I might say, well, I could end up lonely. I could end up with that many friends. I could end up maybe marrying for the wrong reason, because maybe I'm marrying for money. I could end up hurting some people around me. But if I value money that much and I say, it doesn't matter, I don't care, because even if I'm crying, at least I could cry in a Lamborghini instead of a pop down Toyota Camry. So who cares who I step on and who I hurt? And even if I'm crying about it later on and I'm lonely, at least I'm lonely with my convertible top down, or in my Ferrari. Because everybody's going to be lonely anyway. So I'd rather be lonely at the top. So maybe that's my conversation to myself when I'm adopting that value, or adopting that value, or not adopting that value, right? But these are the conversations we have to have. All right. I'm going to leave you guys with this question that he finished the chapter with. The question that he says is, where are the unconscious reflexes affecting you in your life? Where are the unconscious reflexes affecting you in your life? So this Monday morning, this beautiful Monday morning, could be the first day that we really, really evaluate how we've just blindly adopted a lot of things in our life to be true or to be part of our way we live or our value system or whatever, and how often we've denied our true self and how that's affecting us, our inner peace and our outer joy. It's a little bit self-reflection time. So with that being said, y'all go and be great. It starts within, and everybody else around you benefits from your greatness. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Your rags in the air like a chopper. Hennessy punching Johnny Walker. Somebody tell the police they just can't stop us. Like a helicopter. Spin out your rags in the air like a chopper. Hennessy punching Johnny Walker. Somebody tell the police they just can't stop us. Oh, when me choppers them. 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 Rags with me flags with me rags with me flags with me rags with me flags with me. Yo, spin your rags in the air like a chopper. Wave your rags like a helicopter. Spin out your rags in the air like a chopper. Round and round like a helicopter. Spin your rags in the air like a chopper. Wave your rags like a helicopter. Spin your rags in the air like a chopper. Hi, choppers fly, helicopters. We drunk cause we drink like a fish in the water. So high is like the world spinning faster. Dripping with sweat but it don't really matter. The music making me ball out. We see ladies and we call out. Them girls and them whining all out. Look a fight in the back, them brawl out. What? Me no business about that. Girls on me mind, so me thinking about that. Woman in the place, so me hunting for that. Bumpers in me face, so me on the attack. Just give me Henny, yo, give me Stag. No racial thing, white oak, Johnny Black. Oh gosh, I got catch a jet lag. 1919 does have me feeling high. Like a helicopter, spin out your rags in the air like a chopper. Hennessy punching Johnny Walker. Somebody tell the police they just can't stop us.